Good morning. I look a little crazy today. I've been running around. I just thought it was important to draw attention to the rune. This rune is a variation of Yera from the Anglo-Saxon Futhark, a variation of that, but it keeps coming up for me in the last couple of weeks. Every other day or so, this rune will show up. So I just wanted to share my thoughts about it. Um, Yara is the rune of the year. It's a rune of cycles, of things that go around and come around. And what I have in mind today is the cycles of my own life. And I'm sharing this because it's happening for so many of us, but the cycles of your life that may not be completely finished in your mind. Things repeat until we can see them as reflected to us by other people. So let me try to make this simple for a minute. If there's something I really like in another person, it's probably a quality I like in me. If there's something I really don't care about in another person, it's probably a quality I don't like in me, so I'm projecting. So, what this comes down to is the human propensity to project and blame when there are things going on in our life that are uncomfortable, where maybe we made a mistake and we can't own it, or other people have made a mistake and we somehow let this type of toxicity or behavior into our lives. All of these are related to our shadow side, and bringing the shadow into the light of conscious being is the way to start to wake up from the patterns that we each have collectively. They're different for each of us, but there's so many similar ones that we experience as human beings that I just wanted to call attention to this. So this is a time where the cycles are going to come around, and they're not going to be exactly the same as before. It could be a different person. It could be a family member, someone like a family member that you haven't quite resolved issues with. Just there's just many things it could be, but it's going to point to something in your subconscious that says, "Pay attention to me, because if you can heal me emotionally, experience the emotion and let it go, and you can break that cycle in your life." So the cycles are one part of the year. The year is also about justice and the consequences that we reap for our own behavior, which goes a little fits into what I said earlier about the cycles. Did I say something that hurt another person? Did I take action that hurt another person? I'm going to have to look at that and see in myself what's going on. Um, Sometimes you have to forgive yourself because something you might feel bad about wasn't that big a deal, but it was a trigger of guilt and shame when you were a child, or just there's a lot of things that play into this. I'm just sometimes I feel like I'm babbling, but I hope I've said it clearly enough. But the year is a cycle, and we're in a new year, and we're also in a cycle where we are going to be facing a lot of challenges that may or may not be comfortable. I know the one at the top of my mind always is we're coming into a new presidential election, and there's people who love Trump, and I certainly am not going to vote for him, but he is kind of got the charisma to understand what his followers want to hear and to feed them what they want to hear. So it pays to look at that too. It's another cycle of that in the public eye. And what's really important in terms of manifesting the cycle of life that we want, which also goes into a year, is to know what we stand for. Know what you stand for, whether you support another person or not. Know what you stand for. So I've said a lot today. I'll probably say more in future readings, but I think it's just so important to understand the cycles you're coming out of, the cycles that are repeating, so that you can have some choice in your respond or react and make better choices in the process. Okay, I'm babbling. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Susan of the North, and I will see you again.